Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today it's our first lesson of Arabic language. So we are going to start with the alphabets of Arabic language because for any language, alphabets are the base of the language. Once we know the alphabets, then it will be easy for us to make words from the alphabets and then understand the language. So for the Arabic language, there are 29 alphabets. These are the alphabets of the Arabic language starting from this alphabet. This is called Alif, and ending at here, this is Ya. So these are totally 29 alphabets used in the Arabic language. So in this lesson, we will read some of the starting alphabets, and then in the next lessons we will continue. So we are starting to read the alphabets now. So before we start, we have to read Ta'uz in Tasmiya. Ta'uz means A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and Tasmiya means Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So I'm reading, so read with me. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So this is our first lesson, and we are starting from this letter, from this alphabet. So this is called Alif. I'm reading it, so follow me. Alif. 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 Now the formation of Alif, it's a straighter line coming from the top to the bottom. As you can see here, this is a straighter line coming from the top and ending at the bottom. So this is called Alif. This is the first alphabet of the Arabic language, and it doesn't have any sound. Basically, it's used with the other letters to make different letters. We have to use it for stretching and the other purpose. So now the articulation point of the Alif, as you can see in this picture, this is the pronouncing point of the Alif. The empty space of your mouth, you have to read the Alif from the empty space of your mouth. Alif. Read it with me. Alif. This is the empty space of your mouth, so you have to read Alif from this space. Alif. So this is the first letter of Arabic language. Now the next letter. This is Ba. This letter is called Ba. Say with me, Ba. Now the formation of Ba starts from the top, as you can see here, and then it goes down and then goes from right to left. Okay, from right to left, and in the end it again comes from the bottom to top. Okay, this is the formation of Ba, and it also has a dot at the bottom. So this is called Ba. Again, Ba. This is the second letter of Arabic language. This is called Ba. Now, how we have to pronounce this? Look at this picture. This is the Makharij, or the articulation point of the Ba. As you can see here, we have to use our inner sides of the lips. Okay, we have to use the inner sides of the lips and we have to read the ba from there. Ba, ba, as it's written there, pronounced by the inner wet part of the lips. So inner side of the lips, you have to connect the inner parts of your lips. That's how you have to pronounce ba. Ba. Try to read it. Ba. Ba. Okay, so that's how you have to pronounce ba. This is the second letter of the Arabic language. Now the third one. This is the third letter. It is called ta. Say it with me. Ta. Ta. The formation of ta is same like the formation of ba. There is no difference in the formation. The only difference is between the dots, because we read about the ba that ba has one dot at the bottom. Now ta, it has two dots at the top. As you can see here, these are two dots at the top of the ta. So this is called ta. Say it again. Ta. Okay, this is the third letter. Now look here in this picture. For ta, we have to pronounce it. We have to use the tip of the tongue. Use tip of the tongue, and we have to connect the tip of the tongue to the upper incisors, the gum of the upper incisors. We have to connect this is the tip of your tongue. We have to connect it with the gums of the upper incisors. Okay, so that's how we have to pronounce ta. Try to connect your tip of the tongue to the upper incisors and then read ta. Again, ta. Yeah, so that's how you have to pronounce ta. You have to use your tip of the tongue, and you have to connect this tip of the tongue to the upper incisors. That's how you can pronounce ta correctly. Okay. Now the next letter, this is called sa. The next letter is sa. Say it again. Sa. Sa. Okay, this is the fourth letter, and the formation of sa, it's also like the formation of the previous letters, ba and ta. The difference is sa has three dots at the top. We read about the ba and ta, that ba has one dot at the bottom, ta has two dots at the top. Now this one, the sa, it has three dots at the top. So this is the difference. That's how you recognize sa. Okay, sa has three dots at the top. Okay, say it. Sa. Okay, now look at this picture. It's a bit similar to ta, just a little difference here. You have to use the tip of the tongue in sa also, but you have to keep that tip of your tongue at the edge of the teeth, the front teeth. In ta, we were putting the tip of the tongue at the gums of the upper teeth, but in sa, we have to put the tip of tongue on the front teeth, on the edges of the front teeth. Okay, so that's how you have to pronounce sa. This is the tip of the tongue, and you have to put this tip on the upper incisors, of the edges of the upper incisors. Okay, say it again. Sa. sa, sa. Okay, so these are the 4 letters we read in this lesson. First one was alif. The second one was ba, ba. Then the third one was ta, ta. And the fourth one was sa, sa. And then we read about the formation of the letters. The first letter, alif, its formation is very simple. It's a straighter line coming from the top to the bottom. And then ba, ta and sa, all these 3 letters, the formation of all these 3 letters is same, just the difference is dots. Ba has 1 dot at the bottom, ta has 2 dots at the top, and sa has 3 dots at the top. And then we read about the articulation points, pronouncing points of the letters. First we read about alif, that we have to pronounce alif from the empty space of our mouth. As you can see here in this picture, that we have to pronounce alif from the empty space of our mouth. Okay, then we read about ba, that for pronouncing ba we have to use the inner sides of our both lips. Okay, we have to connect the inner side of our lips, and that's how we have to pronounce ba. Ba, ba. And then we read about ta, that for pronouncing ta you have to use the tip of our tongue and the upper incisor, the gums of upper incisor. Okay, we have to connect the tip of tongue to the upper incisors gum, and that's how we will pronounce ta. Ta, ta. And then we read about sa, that's similar to ta, just a little difference here, that we have to use the tip of the tongue, but this time we will not put the tip of tongue on the gums of the upper incisors. Instead of that, we will put the tip on the edge of the front teeth. Okay, the top 2 teeth, we will put the tip of the tongue on the edge of the teeth, front teeth. Okay, so that's how we have to pronounce sa. This is called Jeem. Say with me, Jeem. Jeem. Now look at the shape of this letter. It's a curved shape. Okay, or you can say it's a half circle shape, and it has a dot in the middle. So this is Jeem. Okay, it's a curved shape and it has a dot in the middle. As you can see here, it has a dot in the middle. Now how to pronounce this? Now look at this picture. For pronouncing this letter Jeem, we have to use the middle of the tongue. We have to use the middle of the tongue, and we have to connect the middle of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Here you can see this is the middle of the tongue, and we have to connect this to the roof of the mouth. So that's how we have to pronounce Jeem. Okay, just try it. Jeem. Jeem. The middle of the tongue should be meet with the roof of the mouth. That's how you have to pronounce Jeem. Okay, just let's try it again. Jeem. Jeem. So this is the 5th letter. Now the next letter, this is Ha. Read with me. Ha, ha. The formation of ha is also like jim, and the difference is the dot. Jim has a dot in the middle, but ha doesn't have any dot. Okay, it's without any dot. So this is ha, ha. Now look at this. This is the pronouncing point of the ha. Basically, our throat has three parts. Okay, one is top of the throat. This is the top of the throat, and then this one is the middle of the throat, and then the bottom of the throat. Top of the throat is the part which is on our mouth side, and then middle, and then the bottom part is the part on our chest side. But for ha, we have to use the middle of the throat. As you can see here, we have to read it from the middle part of the throat. Ha, ha. For reading ha correctly, you have to practice it. Ha. So this is the letter ha. Okay. Then the next letter, it's kha. Kha. Just say it once again. Kha. Just say it again. Kha. The formation of kha is also like the previous letters, jim and ha, but it has a dot at the top. The difference is it has a dot at the top. And you also see this letter in the green color. It's because there are some letters in the Arabic language. We have to pronounce them and we have to read them bold. Okay, so kha is one of those letters, so that's why it is in the green color. Okay, so whenever a letter comes in the green color, a letter written in the green color, then it means that we have to read that letter in bold voice. Okay, like I am reading this kha. Try to read this kha. Kha. Okay, now how to read kha correctly. This is the picture you have to see. Now, as I told you before that there are three parts of the throat. Now for kha, we have to use the top of the throat. We have to use the upper part of our throat to pronounce kha. Okay, as kha. Again, kha. Kha. Okay, so this is the letter kha. Okay, so in this lesson we read three letters. First one was jim, and then the second was ha, and the third one was kha. Formation of all these three letters, the formation of all these three letters is same. There is no difference in the formation of these three letters. The difference is just the dots. Jim has one dot in the middle, ha doesn't have any dot, and kha has a dot at the top. And I also told you that the letters which are written in the green color, it means those letters are the bold letters. We have to read them with bold voice. Okay, and we also read about the pronouncing points of these three letters. For jim, we have to use the middle of our tongue and we have to meet the middle of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. So that's how we will pronounce the jim. As you can see here, this is the middle of the tongue, and it will connect, it will meet to the roof of our mouth, and that's how we can easily pronounce jim. Then the ha, for ha we have to use the middle of our throat, middle part of the throat, and we have to read it from the middle part, that ha, ha, ha. And for kha we have to use the upper part of the throat to pronounce kha correctly. Kha, kha. And also remember that we have to read the kha bold, okay, because this is one of the bold letters. Letter we have is dal. Dal. Say it again. Dal. Dal. This is the 8th letter of Arabic language, in Arabic language, and this has a curved shape. As you can see here, this has a curved shape, and it also looks like the triangle, but this side of triangle is missing. It looks like the triangle, but one side is missing. So it is dal, dal. Now, how to pronounce dal and what is the origin of dal? Look now in this picture. For pronouncing dal, you have to use the tip of tongue, and it will connect to the gum line of the two front upper incisors. Here, at the back, in the inner side of the incisors, upper incisors, you have to use the top of your tongue. This is the top of tongue, and it will connect to the front upper incisors. So that's how you can easily pronounce dal, dal. But your tongue will connect to the gum, not to the upper incisors. This is the tip of tongue, and it will connect to the gum of the top two front upper incisors. So that's how you can easily pronounce dal. Just try to read this. Dal. Use your tip of your tongue and connect it to the gum line of the two front upper incisors. Dal, dal. And the next letter we have is zal, zal. Say it again. Zal, zal. The formation of dal and the zal is same. As you can see here, dal and the zal, they both are looking same. Just one difference, that is dal doesn't have any sound. That is dal doesn't have any dot, as you can see here, but zal has a dot at the top. So this is the only difference between dal and zal. Okay, the formation of these two letters is same. Dal, this is zal, but the difference is dal doesn't have any dot, while zal has a dot at the top. Okay, now how to pronounce zal? As you can see in this picture, for pronouncing zal correctly, you have to use the top of your tongue, top of the tip of the tongue, and it will meet to the edges of the two top front teeth. Zal, this is top of the tip of tongue, and it will meet to the edges of the two top front teeth here. Zal. Just use your tip of your tongue and then connect it to the edges of the two top front teeth, and that's how you can easily pronounce zal. And also remember one thing, the sound of zal will be soft. Zal, zal. So this is the origin of pronouncing zal. Now the next letter we have here is ra. Ra. Say it again. Ra. Now look at the formation of it. Ra is written as a downward curve, as you can see here. It also has a curve shape, but coming from top to the bottom. Okay, so you can say that it has a downward curve shape. Okay, Ra has a downward curve shape, and as you can see, it is also in the green color. So it means you have to read it with bold voice. You have to read it with bold voice. So this letter is Ra. Ra. Now look at this picture. For pronouncing Ra, you have to use top of the tip of the tongue, and it will connect to the gum of the two top front teeth. These are the two top front teeth, and you have to connect the tip of your tongue to the gum here, not to the teeth. You have to connect the tip of tongue to the gum. So that's how you can easily pronounce Ra. Ra. So you have to use this part of your tongue, and it will connect to this part, not to the teeth but to the gum. So that's how Ra will be pronounced. Ra. Say it again. Ra. And make sure while reading Ra that your voice should be bold. Ra. The next letter we have is Za. 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 The formation of Za is similar to Ra. As you can see here, the formation of both these letters is same. There is no difference in the formation. The only difference Ra and Za have is Ra doesn't have any dot, while Za has a dot at the top. As you can see here, Za has a single dot at the top. Now, how to pronounce Za? For pronouncing Za, you have to use top of your tongue. This is top of your tongue. And you have to connect top of your tongue to the plates of the two top front incisors, and it will not connect to the two top front incisors while instead of connecting, you have to left a little space between the tip of the tongue and the two incisors. This is the top of your tongue, and you have to use this part of your tongue, and it will go to the plates of the two top front incisors, and a little space left between the tip of the tongue and two incisors. That's how you can pronounce za. And also, while reading za, you have to make a whistle like sound, za, za. And you also have to read it in strong voice. In dal, we were reading the dal soft, dal. But while reading za, you have to read it in strong voice, za, za. Sin. The formation of this letter is, as you can see here, it has three curves at the top, starting from the top, then coming down, then again going to the top, and then coming down, and then again going to the top, and then a half circle shape at the end. So this is the formation of sin. Now, how to pronounce sin? So for pronouncing sin, you have to use the tip of the tongue near the inner plates of the upper central incisors. You have to put the tip of the tongue near the inner plates of the upper incisors. This is the tip of the tongue. Okay, so now you have to put this near the inner plates of the upper central incisors. These are the central incisors. This is the tip of the tongue. So you have to put this part of your tongue to near the inner plates of the upper central incisors from internal side. Okay, so that's how you can easily pronounce sin, sin. Okay, so for pronouncing sin, you have to put the tip of the tongue near the inner plates of the upper central incisors. So that's how sin will be pronounced. Okay, sin is similar to the letter we've read already, za. So we read that za, for za we have to use the top of the tongue, and we have to put this near the inner plates of the upper central incisors. So same for the sin also, because the origin of sin and the za is same. And I mentioned there that while reading za, you will listen a whistle like sound. So for sin also there is a sound like whistle, sin, sin. Okay, so this is the origin of pronouncing sin. Now the next letter is sheen, sheen, sheen. Read it again, sheen. The formation of sheen is same as sin. As you can see here, both these letters are same in formation. This is sin and this is sheen. The only difference between sin and sheen is that sin doesn't have any dot, while sheen, it has 3 dots at the top. So this is the only difference between the formation of seen and sheen. So this letter is sheen, sheen. Now how to pronounce the sheen? So for pronouncing sheen, you have to use the middle of the tongue. This is the middle of the tongue, and it will meet to the roof of the mouth. For pronouncing sheen, you have to use the middle of the tongue, okay, and it will connect to the roof of the mouth. This is the roof of the mouth, okay, and this is the middle of the tongue, and the middle of the tongue and the roof of the mouth, when the middle of the tongue connects to the roof of the mouth, then we'll pronounce sheen correctly. Sheen. Just try it. Sheen. Sheen. Next letter we have is sheen. Sheen. Say it again. Sheen. 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 The formation of seen and sheen is same. As you can see here, there is no difference between the formation of seen and sheen. Only one difference, that is the dots. Look at the seen, it doesn't have any dot, while sheen, it has 3 dots at the top. So this is the only difference between the formation of seen and sheen. Now, how to pronounce sheen? So for pronouncing sheen, you have to use the middle of the tongue, and you will go to the roof of the mouth. You have to use the middle of the tongue, and it will go to the roof of the mouth. It will not connect to the roof of the mouth, but the middle of the tongue, this part, it will go to the roof of the mouth, but it will not connect to the roof of the mouth. Okay, so you have to use the middle part of the tongue, and it will go towards the roof of the mouth. It will never connect though to the roof of the mouth. So that's how you can easily pronounce sheen. So this is the origin of sheen. 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 Like this. Look at this sound. Sheen. Now the next letter we have is swad. 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 First of all, as you can see, this letter is in the green color, written in the green color. So it means while reading this, we have to make a bold voice, because the swad, it is one of the bold letters. So while reading this letter, you have to make a bold voice. So this is swad. Swad. Now how to pronounce swad? This is similar to the seen. The origin of swad is the same as seen, and that is the tip of the tongue near the inner plates of the upper central incisors. This is the tip of the tongue. These are the central incisors, the top two central incisors. And the tip of the tongue will go near the plates of the two top front incisors. It will not connect though, but it will go near the plates of the top two front incisors. So that's how you can pronounce swad. This is the place where you can pronounce swad. 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 Okay, now the next letter we have is Dad. 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 Say it again. Dad. This letter is also written in the green color, which means you have to read it with the bold voice, and this letter is from one of the bold letters. And the formation of this dad is same like the swad. The only difference between these two letters is a dot. Dad is having a dot on the top, while swad doesn't have any dot. So this is the only difference between swad and dad. Now, the origin of dad is side of the tongue. Okay, this is the side of the tongue, and it's the right side of the tongue. Okay, it's the right side of the tongue, and it will meet the roots of the upper molars. It will meet to the roots of the upper molars. So that's how you can pronounce dad, dad, dad. This is the side of the tongue. It will go meet to the roots of the upper molars here. This part of the tongue will meet this part, the roots of the upper molars, and that's the origin of dad. That's how you pronounce the dad, dad, dad. So these were the 4 letters we read today. First, Seen, Seen. Then, Sheen. Read with me. Sheen. Swad, swad, swad. Dad, dad, dad. So this was our 4th lesson, and now we've completed half of the letters from alif to dad. We completed all these letters. So now I'm reading these letters again. So just listen to me and read with me. Alif, ba, ta, sa, jim, ha, kha, dal, dhal, ra, za, sin, shin, صاد ضاد طاء. Now look at the formation of this letter. It has an oval shape here, as you can see. This is an oval shape and then a vertical line coming from the top to the bottom and connecting to the oval shape. So this is the formation of letter Ta. And also this letter is in the green color, so it means it is one of the bold letters. And while reading this letter, we have to make a bold voice. Now, the origin of letter Ta is here. As you can see here, the origin of the letter Ta is top of the tip of tongue, and it will connect to the gum line of the two front upper incisors here. Not to the upper incisors, but it will connect to the gum line, okay, at the back of the incisors. So this is the top of the tip of tongue, and it will go connect to the gum line of the two front upper incisors at back. So that's how you can pronounce Ta. Try to read it. Ta. Ta. So this part of the tongue, it will connect to the gum line of the two front upper incisors. So this is the origin of letter Ta. Ta. The next letter we have is Dha. 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 The formation of this letter is similar to the previous letter Ta. As you can see, both these letters are similar in formation, just one difference, that is a dot. Dha has a dot at the top. Dha has one dot at the top, and Ta, it doesn't have any dot. So this is the only difference between these two letters, Ta and Dha. Another thing, Dha is also one of the bold letters, means you have to make a bold voice while reading this letter. Now the origin of Dha. The origin of letter Dha is top of the tip of tongue, this part of the tongue, and it will connect to the edges of the two top front teeth here. So you have to connect this part of the tongue to the edges of the two top front teeth, and that's how you can easily pronounce Dha. Dha. Top of the tip of the tongue, this part of the tongue, and then it will go connect to edges of the two top front teeth here. So this is the origin of letter Dha. Try to read it according to the rule. Dha. Dha. Then the next letter we have is Ain. 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 Say it again. Ain. The formation of this letter Ain is similar. It has two parts. One is at the top and then another is at the bottom. The upper part of this letter is similar to the letter C, the letter in English, C. So this is similar to the letter C, as you can see here. And then the lower part of this letter is also like a big C. The upper part, it is like a small C, and then the lower part is also like a big C. So this is the formation of letter Ain. The origin of this letter is the middle part of the throat. As I told you before, there are three parts of the throat. One is the upper part of the throat, then the middle part of the throat, and then the bottom part of the throat. So for pronouncing Ain, we have to use the middle part of the throat. Ain. This is the middle part of the throat. So you have to use this part for reading Ain. 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 So this is the origin of letter Ain. You can easily pronounce using your middle part of the throat. Then the next letter we have is Ghain. Ghain. Say it again. Ghain. Ghain. Now the formation of this letter is similar to the previous letter Ain. As you can see here, the formation of both these letters is same. The only difference is the dot. Ghain, it has a dot at the top, as you can see here. But the letter Ain, it doesn't have any dot. So this is the only difference between these two letters, between the formation of these two letters, Ain and Ghain. Another thing, this letter Ghain is one of the bold letters. So when you read this letter, you have to make a bold voice. Ghain. Ghain. Now the origin of this letter, how you have to pronounce this letter. For pronouncing this letter, you have to use the upper part of the throat. Here, you can see here, this is the upper part of the throat, which is on your mouth side. So for pronouncing Ghain, you have to use this part. Ghain. 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 So this is the upper part of the throat. So for pronouncing Ghain, you have to use this part of your throat. Ghain. Ghain. So in this lesson, we read 4 letters. First we read Ta, Ta, then Zwa, Zwa, then Ain, Ain, and then Ghain, Ghain. And then we read about the formation of the letters, that Ta, it has an oval shape here, and then a vertical line coming from the top, and then at bottom it is connected to the oval shape. And then we also read that Zwa, it has the same formation as Ta. The only difference is Zwa has a dot at the top, and Ta, it doesn't have any dot. And we also read that Ta and Zwa, both these letters are bold letters. we have to make a bold voice while reading these two letters. Twa, zwa. And then ayn, the formation of this letter, it has two parts. One is the upper part and then the lower part. Both these parts are similar to the English alphabet C. Both these parts are similar to the English alphabet C. The upper part, it is similar to the little c, and then the lower part, it is similar to a big C. And then the last letter we read is ghain, and the formation of this letter is similar to the previous letter ayn. The only difference is ghain has a dot at the top, as you can see here, and ayn, it doesn't have any dot. And another thing we read about the ghain, that it is one of the bold letters. So while reading this letter, we have to make a bold voice. And then we read about the origins of these letters. So first, twa, the origin of this letter is top of the tip of the tongue, this part of the tongue, and it will go connect to the gum line of the two front upper incisors at the back. And then we read about the origin of zwa, that for pronouncing zwa, we have to use top of the tip of the tongue, and it will go connect to the edges of the two top front teeth. Here, this part of the tongue, it will go connect to edges of the two top front teeth, and this is the origin of letter zwa. Then the origin of ayn, it is the middle part of the throat. So for pronouncing ayn, you have to use the middle part of the throat. This is the middle part of the throat. Ayn, ayn. And then the letter ghain, the origin of this letter is upper part of the throat. As you can see here, this is the upper part of the throat. So for pronouncing ghain, you have to use this part of the throat, ghain. This letter is fa, 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 fa. The formation of this letter is, it has a circle shape in the beginning, as you can see here, and then it's coming to the left, and at the end it's going to the top. So this is the formation of letter fa, a circle at the beginning here, and then going from right to left, and then at the end it's coming to the top, and a dot at the top. Okay, a dot at the top of the circle. This is the formation of letter fa. The origin of this letter is, look here, the origin of this letter is edges of the upper front two teeth touches the inner side of the lower lip. This is the lower lip, and these are the edges of two upper front teeth. So these two upper front teeth will touch the inner side of the lower lip. Fa, fa. So this is the origin of letter fa. The edges of the top two front teeth will touch the inner side of the lower lip. That's how you can easily pronounce fa, fa. Try to read it accordingly. Fa. The next letter we have is qaf, qaf, qaf. Qaf. The formation of this letter is the next letter we have is Qaf. 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 The formation of this letter is, it has also a round shape in the beginning, then a half circle shape, and two dots at the top. This is the formation of letter Qaf. A round shape in the beginning, then a half circle shape, and then two dots at the top. And as you can see, this letter is written in the green colors. So it means we have to make this bold while reading. This is one of the bold letters, Qaf. As you can hear, I am making the bold voice, Qaf. Then the origin of this letter Qaf is soft palate. This is the palate, okay, and this is the soft palate. As you can see, the last part of the palate, this is called soft palate. So while reading Qaf, you have to use this part of your palate. Roof of the mouth in the area of soft palate. This is the origin of letter Qaf. 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 Then the next letter we have is Kaf. 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 The formation of this letter is, it has a line in the beginning coming from the top, and then it's going to the left side, and then at the end it's coming to the top again. So this is the formation of this letter Kaf. As you noticed, the sound of this letter and the previous letter Qaf is similar. Just one difference here, that Qaf, we are making the bold sound while reading this letter Qaf, and while reading this letter we are making a light sound Kaf. This is the only difference between these two letters, between the sound of these two letters. Now the origin of letter Kaf is the hard part of the palate. Roof of the mouth in the area of hard palate. So this is the place where you have to pronounce Kaf with a soft voice. Kaf. Kaf. Then the next letter we have is Lam. 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 The formation of this letter is, it has a vertical line coming from the top to the bottom, and then a half round shape. A vertical line coming from the top, and then a half round shape. This letter is Lam. The origin of this letter Lam is tip of the tongue, and it will go connect to the gum of the two top front teeth. This is the tip of the tongue, the very last part of the tongue, and it will go connect to the gum of the two top front teeth here. So that's how you have to pronounce lam, lam, lam. So tip of the tongue will connect to gum of the two top front teeth. This is the origin of letter lam. The next letter we have is mim, 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 mim. The formation of this letter is, it has a round shape in the beginning, as you can see here, a round shape in the beginning, then it's coming to the bottom. After the round shape, it's coming down to the bottom. So this is the formation of letter mim. Now the origin of letter mim is dry part of two lips. You have to pronounce it by the dry part of two lips. When the dry part of your two lips will meet to one another, so that's how you can easily pronounce meme, meme. Try to read it accordingly. Meme. The dry part of two lips will connect to one another. This is the dry part of the lower lip and then the dry part of the upper lip. Meme. So now we read 5 letters in this lesson. The first one was fa, fa. Then qaf, qaf. Then kaf, kaf, kaf. Then lam, lam. And in the end, meme, meme. And we also read about the formation of the letters. First, fa. The formation of this letter is, it has a round shape in the beginning, then it's coming from right to the left, and in the end, it's going to top. And it also has one dot at the top. About qaf, we read that the formation of qaf is, it has a round shape in the beginning, then a half circle shape. And it also has 2 dots at the top of the round shape here. And we also read that qaf, it is one of the bold letters, so while reading this letter qaf, we have to make a bold voice. And then the next letter kaf, the formation of this letter is, it has a line in the beginning, starting from a line, the horizontal line, and then it's coming from top to the bottom, and then going from right to the left, and in the end it's coming again to the top. Then lam, it has a vertical line coming from top to the bottom, and then a half round shape. And in the end, we read about meme, that the formation of this letter is, it has a round shape in the beginning. Here, this is the round shape, and then it's coming from top to the bottom. And then we read about the origins of these letters. Fa. So for pronouncing fa, we have to use edges of the upper front 2 teeth touches the inner side of the lower lip. And qaf, we have to use the soft palate for reading qaf. This is the soft palate. We have to use it for reading qaf with a bold voice. And then for kaf, we have to use the hard palate, the hard part of the palate, and roof of the mouth in the area of hard palate. This is the origin of letter Kaf with a soft voice. And then Lam, the origin of this letter is tip of the tongue and gum of the two top front teeth. The last part of the very last part of the tongue will go connect to the gum of two top front teeth, and this is how you pronounce the letter Lam. And in the end, the letter we have is Meme, and the origin of this letter is dry part of two lips. We have to use the dry parts of two lips, and when the dry part of two lips will connect to each other, then we can easily pronounce Meme. Meme. Noon. The formation of this letter is, it has a half circle shape, as you can see, and then a dot in the middle. It has a half circle shape and a dot in the middle. So this is the formation of letter Noon. The origin of this letter is tip of the tongue and gum of the two top front teeth from the internal side. Tip of the tongue and gum of the two top front teeth from the internal side means you have to use the tip of the tongue and it will go connect to the gum of the two top front teeth from internal side, from your internal side of mouth. Noon. This is the tip of the tongue and it will go connect to the gum of the two top front teeth from the internal side. So that's how you can easily pronounce Noon. Noon. The next letter we have is Wow. 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 The formation of this letter is, it has a circle shape in the beginning, as you can see here, a circle shape in the beginning, a round shape, and then it's coming down like Dal. So this is the formation of letter Wow. The origin of this letter is circling the two lips without meeting completely. Means you have to circling your two lips, but the lips shouldn't meet to each other. Like wow. You have to circling the two lips without meeting completely. The lips should not meet to each other, but you have to make them circling. Wow. Wow. Then the next letter we have is Ha. 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 The origin of this letter is the lowest part of the throat. As we read in the previous lessons, that throat, it has three parts: the upper of the throat, then the middle of the throat, and then the last part of the throat. So for pronouncing Ha, we have to use the lowest part of the throat, which is on the chest side. Ha. Ha. Then the next letter we have is Hamza. Hamza. Say it again. Hamza. The formation of this letter is, it is similar to the letter Ain, but just the beginning part of the Ain, not the complete Ain, because Ain has two parts. One is the upper part and then the lower part, but this letter Hamza, it has just the upper part of the Ain. So it looks like Ain, but it's not like the same letter Ain, because it just have the upper part of Ain. So this is the letter Hamza. The origin of this letter is the lowest part of the throat, like the previous letter Ha. So for pronouncing Hamza, you have to use the lower part of your throat. Hamza. Try to say it. Hamza. So this is the origin of letter Hamza. Now the next letter we have is Ya. 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 The formation of this letter is, it is starting like the English letter S. As you can see here, it is starting like the English letter S, and then it has a semicircle, like the half round shape here at the end. So this is the formation of letter Ya. Then we have another letter, it is also called Ya. Ya. Both these letters are Ya. This is also Ya, and this last one, this is also called Ya. The formation of these two letters is different. That's why they written these two letters separately. Otherwise, both these letters are called Ya. The origin of these two letters is middle of the tongue will touch to roof of the mouth. This is the middle part of the tongue, and it will go touch roof of the mouth. That's how you can easily pronounce Ya, Ya, Ya. So in this lesson, we read 6 letters. The first one was Noon. Then we read that the formation of this letter, it has a semicircle like the half round shape, and then a dot in the middle. Then the next letter we read is Wow. Wow. It has a round shape in the beginning, as you can see here. Then it's coming down like Dal. The next letter Ha. Ha. The formation of this letter is, it's like an oval shape. As you can see, it has an oval shape. So this is the formation of this letter. Then the next letter was Hamza. Hamza. The formation of this letter is, it looks like the upper part of Ain. Then the next two letters, these two letters are Ya. Ya. The formation of this letter, the first one, it's starting like the English alphabet S, and then at the end it has a round shape, a half round shape. And then next one, the formation of this letter, it's starting from the top, and then it's coming down, going from right to left, and then in the end it's coming from left to right and ending at the right. This is the formation of this last letter. Then we read about the origins of these letters. First one was Noon. The origin of letter Noon is tip of the tongue, and it will go connect to gum of the two top front teeth here. Then the next letter Wow. The origin of this letter is circling the two lips without meeting completely. Means your lips should not meet to each other, but you have to circle them. And then the next letter Ha. The origin of this letter is the lowest part of the throat. As you can see in the picture, you have to use the lowest part of your throat to pronounce Ha. And the next letter Hamza, the origin of this letter is similar to the previous letter Ha. Hamza, the lowest part of the throat. And the next two letters, both these letters are Ya. So the origin of these two letters is similar, and that is middle of the tongue will touch to the roof of the mouth. Middle of the tongue will touch to the roof of the mouth. So that's how you can easily pronounce Ya. So now we've completed all these letters, all these 29 letters from Alif to Ya. So I'm reading these letters. So read with me. Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Zal, Ra, Za, Sin, Shin, Sad, Dad, طا ظا عين غين فا قاف كاف لام ميم نون واو ها همزة يا So there are some important things that I told you in the previous lessons, that when we see any letter in the green color, so it means we have to make them bold. So in total we have 8 letters which are bold letters. So first one is kha, then ra, then sad, then dad, ta, za, ghain, and qaf. So these are the letters, we have to read them bold. Whenever we read these letters, we have to make a bold voice. So now we have completed all the letters from the alif to ya. So in the next lesson, inshallah, we will read how to connect the letters.